Indika, bro. This game, this is one of the most unique games I've ever played in my life. And particularly with CJ, we like to play a lot of narrative-focused games, you know, walking simulators, whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? And I gotta say, it's always fun playing with my boy on the couch. And if the game's a little boring, we can just start riffing back and forth, making jokes or whatever, you know? So, like, we're gonna have fun regardless. But some of these games, man, are really fucking, they blur together, honestly. You know what I mean? Some that stick out are like Soma, you know, set like under the ocean and shit, this dystopian fucking sci-fi story and shit like that. And the other one that stood out was What Remains of Edith Finch. You know, that one really stood out. Like, this family is cursed and you're going through all the rooms of the house, like reliving their fucking lives and shit like that. A lot of them are forgettable. And Indika was... Indika was very strange, it was very weird, but it was awesome, dude. It was really fucking awesome. The setting for the game is, you would never imagine a million years that like a fucking nun would make an awesome character in like the 1800s Russian countryside or whatever, would make for an awesome game. She lives in a fucking convent or some shit. You know what I mean? And it's fucking sick. And the trailer of the game was like, not another nun game. Like, my God. Yeah. This shit is really fucking clever, dog. It's really cool. She has the devil talking to her in her head. It's like this running fucking commentary. She's like arguing with it at times or trying to tune it out. And the voice actor for the devil is really good. But he was saying, she was making some points. Honestly, and the guy was like, the devil's got a point. Satan's got a point. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's kind of convincing me. You know what I mean? The voice actor is really good. He reminded me of the guy who did the Stanley Parable, but I think it's a different guy. But Stanley Parable was also a good game. It was like almost entirely on the back of the strength of that narrator. And this game had a really strong narrator as well. And it's just funny how it like gamifies like the little experience points you get if you do some fucking nunly shit. You know what I mean? Like praying at a shrine or whatever. It'll be like, oh, you got like 5 points. You know what I mean? And the game will literally tell you like experience points mean nothing. Like, don't even bother to do it. It's just funny how video gamey it is at times. Like, the flashbacks are told in like this 2D style, and it's actually really affecting. You know what I mean? Like, there was like this gut punch part of the 2D section. We're like, oh my God. You know what I mean? And I was like, that's impressive. You know, this game's just so fucking strange, and it's just doing its own thing, and it's awesome, bro. There was a little bit of jank to it. Like, if you would die, the devil will fire off some line of dialogue, but the game will load before he's done speaking. You'll just cut him off. Some little awkward aspects of the design like that. Like this studio, we actually Googled them, like, who is this studio? We want to see what else they made. And they made like one other game. It was like a VR archery game or something like that. I was like, oh, I think that one's going to be a skip. But yeah, it seems to be a very independent developer. So there's a tiny little bit of jank. But overall, it looked really good. I mean, it performed well. I heard the Steam Deck version had some performance issues, but when CJ told me he wanted to play, I refunded my Steam Deck version and I got the PS5 version, so we didn't have any performance issues on the PS5. But yeah, it looks really cool. It's not like gameplay heavy or anything like that, but it performed well and everything like that. It was really pretty, and the acting and shit was good. The faces looked good. The shit was really cool. So thematically, we were watching like a video essay yesterday, and I was just struck by like the journey that Indika goes on thematically, and like the character that she's paired with in the game, who's like this fucking escaped convict guy. Story-wise, thematically and shit, that was the perfect fucking character for her to be paired up with. I don't want to spoil it too much or whatever, but his character believed that he was like chosen by God and he had this purpose. And she was doubtful of him. It's just crazy because she's the nun and she's grappling with her beliefs, and she hears the voice of Satan in her head, which is really just the voice of reason. You could read the game two different ways, like if she was actually speaking with Satan or if those are just the internal battles that were going on in her head or whatever, you know, like that. But it was really cool, thematic, like thought-provoking game. It was really awesome. And there's these parts.
I think deep inside she hated her monastic cell, Smaragda's tasteless cabbage soup, the smell of rotting old women that even incense could not cover. Half of the sisters couldn't even read. Even if the abbess was literate, she surely didn't go out of her way to use that skill.
Lord, O just one, thou hast received the gospel as a martyr. Thou art never turned away.
Words work from her dentures with her finger. Indika hated endless prayers.
Satan's like really in her fucking head, and he's just chattering, bro. You can barely even make out what he's saying. And the world splits and everything gets like really red and shit like that. And you could hold like R2 for her to start praying, and that'll replace his just fucking chattering with her like prayers and litanies and shit, and she'll just say it over and over under her breath. You could barely make out what she's saying. But then the world will come back together, and like you have to solve puzzles this way by like, all right, you stop praying and the world goes crazy, and you can interact with the world a certain way, and then you start praying and the world goes back together and shit. It's like, yeah, visually it's awesome, puzzle wise it's fucking awesome, like thematically and narratively it's fucking awesome. Like, it's a fucking cool game, bro. The world just felt off at times. Like the scale was fucking crazy. There was this part in the fish factory where the fish hanging on the hooks are like the size of like a skyscraper or shit like that, you know what I mean? And there's times where you're outside and the buildings are just towering over you, or you're in a building that just seems like it goes up endlessly. Like it's fucking crazy. It's like trippy. And I wasn't sure if like this was just Indika's state of mind or whatever, or if they were just in a really fucking weird alternate version of Russia or whatever the fuck. I don't know, man. It was just really fucking awesome. That shit's gonna stick with me. You know what I mean? If you want to think something, feel something, be moved, you know, be impressed or whatever, see something you've never seen before, Indika's really fucking dope, dog. This is a really cool game.